Right. Now we're going to move on to something that's going to be very, very interesting, especially for you, those of you that have a really, really good math ability. And in fact, maybe what we're going to be talking about is the death of calculus, things in motion and being able to describe them. Okay, but for a practical application of this, possibly what kind of it is, what kind of new math this is. Let's talk about the different kinds of stargates first. Okay, we know that we have two different kinds of stargates. Okay, we have static stargates, and we have dynamic stargates. Okay, I'll briefly go over what the difference is here first. Okay, let's say these circles represent our two stargates. This is point A. This is point B. All right. Okay. If point A and point B are not moving, then there will be one Stargate address that will be able to connect point A to point B every time. We don't have to worry about recalculating anything ever. It is there, it's not moving, it's like a rock. Okay, but okay, so that's a static Stargate system. But in the real world, everything is moving. For example, let's say point A is sitting in New York's Central Park, for example. And then point B is sitting right in the middle of a place on the moon called the Ocean of Aquarius. Okay? Obviously, the moon is moving and Earth is also moving. So, every second, every moment that that exists, there is a different address that will be able to keep these 2 points connected. Okay. Now, why would you want these two devices to be synchronized? It's very simple. Terrain. I think we talked about this before. And for example, if the point you want to go, point B, is right in the middle of the Ocean of Aquarius, okay, keep in mind this is maybe a bowl-shaped area. And now, if you happen to cross over this bowl area, you might be underground, and the moment you pass that Stargate, you will probably find yourself buried under a lot of rock on the moon. To add on to the top of your problems that the moon doesn't have a breathable atmosphere yet. At least not that I know of, not that we're told about. Okay, so we need to do something that will keep these two gates connected. Okay, you know, there is an option here. Okay, if you have a really fast computer, a computer that is controlling the address, the modulation going into the Stargate device, you can have it recalculate a new position, a new Stargate address for every second or every fraction of a second or something like that. But that's only going to work so far, okay? One thing we need to realize is that the further away that point A, let's actually draw this out here. Okay, the line's a little bit crooked, but you know, the D is the distance between A and B. Okay, if these points A and B are relatively close, we have computers that will be able to calculate this in real time and update the modulation going into the Stargate in real time. However, as the distance becomes greater and greater and greater, we're going to be reaching the the limit of our processing ability. Granted, I'm sure we can use supercomputers and so on, but if the place we're going to is say 100 million light years away, even our fastest pool of supercomputers, it won't be able to calculate everything in the time that we need it. We need everything instantly. Okay? Okay, so we need to find a different way. All right? However, there is a better way. And this is going to be how this dynamic Stargate system works. We need some different colored chalks here. Okay. First thing, what we have to do is we need to divide each Stargate coordinate into different quadrants. Okay. So, green chalk here. Okay, we have those. Let's do orange here. Clean it up a little bit. All right, and so now, okay, and so now we have 4 different quadrants of 2 different gates, and what we want to do to keep these gates in sync is we're going to do some quadrant flopping, flip flop, blah 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 blah. Okay, and let's kind of write this out in some mathematical notation first. Okay, we have B right here. Okay, so let's over here write B, and then there's Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q. And Q4. So we've got B has 4 different quadrants, Q1 through Q4. Okay, and actually, before we get too in depth in this, too detailed into this, I've written this out as 1, 2, 3, and 4, but there should be a better way of doing this. I'll just write it out like a sequence format. Q1, Qn. That's the best way to see it. That's the best way to write it, at least. That's because if we want a stable vortex, we need to divide this up into the different into equal sections. Okay, and these the maximum number of Q is going to be a factor of 2. Always. Okay, so we have B, and then we have Q1 through Qn. In this case, we have 4 quadrants, and let's write the same thing about A, Q1 dot 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 Qn. In this case, also Q4. So let's go ahead and write the quadrant numbers in here first. Okay, so this is Q1, this over here, Q1. Okay, so if it's going to go in counterclockwise way. Although it doesn't have to, depends on which way the vortex is really rotating. You don't want to go against the grain or anything, that'd be stupid. Okay, but anyways, the Stargate, the vortex is swirling this way and swirling that way and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so really what we're going to be doing, the only thing that we need to do, is we need to swap quadrants. Quadrants. Okay, the best thing that we need to think of this, we need to think of this as in a time domain also. Flip-flopping different things based on the time domain, the time sequence. Okay, let's say we have 4 frames of time, all right? Let's write this up here. Okay, Tn. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, first, what we're going to do is we are going to, okay, we are swapping part of the modulation, the part of the data stream or the pulse train that is going through here. You know, each quadrant will really be different based on the address that's put into the Stargate. Okay, so what we want to do first. Okay, this vortex is swirling this way. So our first quadrant, that's the moving, we're going to swap Q1 of A with Q3 of B. So, and then, okay, we're on Q2 here. We're going to swap Q2 here with Q4 over here. Okay, and then Q3. Q3 over here. We're going to swap it with Q1 over here, and so on. And what this is going to do, this is going to cause a definite warble in hyperspace. And there's a lot of mathematical discovery, a lot of mathematical things, a lot of physics things that we really need to look into, because this is a higher dimensional resonance taking place that we are actually going to be drawing energy from hyperspace itself, which just understanding this may possibly open up completely new energy sources that not even 0-point energy people have even thought of yet. And this is all based on nature. This is not some purely mathematical discovery. This is just something that popped into my mind spontaneously as I was waiting at a hotel for food, and I was just kind of thinking, in the back of my mind, how could 2 gates over interstellar distances still remain connected to each other? It's mind-boggling. And this is how it is. This is really just how it works. And we're not even going to worry about these time domain things right now. But now, if we want to look at this from a symbolic point of view, let's draw a path around how everything works. Okay, going from Q1 to Q3. Interesting. And Q2 to Q4. Blah, blah, blah. That is very ironic. And strangely enough, this is the symbol for infinity. And also, if we want to go into some of the work where other people have made discoveries and things with vortex math, vortex theory, this is crossing into what Marco Rodin's torsion physics have been talking about, or rather his vortex mathematics. Um, and if you watch his videos and learn what he has to say, this is getting really, really deep, and we want to go deep. But just this is kind of why I'm doing these videos. I don't want to be talking over anybody's head because people, mystics and everybody like that, whoever falls into that category, gurus and I don't know, even priests and things like that. They're always talking in these mystical terms that nobody really understands concrete information about. Like, gurus have all these kind of really, really nice spiritual sayings that maybe keep you on the path of spiritual whatever it is. And it's really nice. But it's really full of nonsense. Really. I mean, there's no, I've never heard any guru actually give proof to back anything they can say up. Not scientifically. And we live in a scientific world. We need to replicate things, not, if one man can levitate, that's cool for the evening tabloids, but how does that help our society? It doesn't. And that's why I'm doing this. Okay, so based on this right here, this is the symbol for infinity. And also, if we look a little closer at this, that, strangely enough, looks like a waveform implying resonance. There is resonance within infinity. Okay? And also, like I said, we are balancing hyperspatial planes together. Just within a single Stargate itself. Okay, now if you really put this together, maybe you can kind of fold the symbol for infinity onto each other, onto itself, and you can see it spinning inside your head. You will notice that this looks identical to a gyroscope, and this is how I can theorize that when we have two stargates, two wormholes connected to each other, two wormhole devices connected to each other, and they're talking to each other, it's going to be sucking or drawing energy from hyperspace. And I can say this not because I have a good imagination. It's because when you spin up a gyroscope to very high velocity, it will sit there and spin. You can blow at it. You can push it over a little bit with your finger, and it will pop right back up to center. It always wants to find balance. Okay, so let's kind of recap what we've done so far. We have two stargates, A and B. They're a distance of d apart from each other, which that really isn't a big deal. Okay, and we have each one of them divided into 5 quadrants. Okay, and in order to keep these two stargates connected to each other through massive distances, we are going to be swapping diagonal quadrants with each other, and that's if we draw a line along that line of swapping, of quadrant swapping, We are actually going to draw the symbol for infinity. Um, okay, so this is exactly how we're going to keep two stargates connected to each other. Actually, this is, in a way of speaking, this is communication. This is really how nature. This is really how I believe nature communicates with itself. We know that the symbol for infinity is telling us that, okay, no matter how far how deep you go into something, it's always going to be like a fractal. There's always going to be something deeper and deeper and deeper. And this is really the heart of how everything is working. Communication between everything. Everything in nature is based on vortexes, and when vortex fields interact with each other, they are essentially communicating with each other. This isn't a human language. This is a language of nature. Okay. And I think if we can listen to this sound, it's probably one of the most beautiful sounds that we could possibly hear. Okay, so all right, so this is the dynamic Stargate system, and I think this pretty much is the heart of getting the Stargates to work. I also want to reiterate. Each Stargate will have it can have any number of quadrants, or more than quadrants if you're dividing more than four. But it can be in any number. But it just has to be a permutation or a factor of 2. Okay. And obviously, the more number of permutations here, the more accurate that we can be. Okay. Okay. So if you have any questions, send me some mail, send me some comments, and thanks for watching again.